Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the T-Call team this afternoon. And I'm looking at the time, and we've got about 1 minute. So we'll wait another minute before we get started here. But today I'm going to be the presenter. I'm Anne-Marie Molinari Sanders, and I'm joined today by, again, the whole T-Call team. And I want to thank Krista for being our co-host this afternoon. So thank you so much. And we'll get started soon. So let's see here. What do we have in the chat? All right. So everybody, while we're waiting, go ahead and just put in the chat real quickly how the weather is where you are. We've been talking about weather here before we started the webinar. So how is it? How is it where you are? Is it raining? Is it sunny? Are you waterlogged like we are in Houston right now? So just go ahead and let us know. All right. Well, I do see that it is 1:30 and we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, welcome everybody to the the June PD Coordinators webinar. I'm Anne-Marie Molinari Sanders. I am going to be the presenter, but we're all going to be presenting today. I'm joined by the entire T-Call team, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So we have an agenda, and I'm just going to quickly run through what our topics are for the agenda. And you will notice that we are going to start with updates from the Distance Education Professional Development Center. And then we're going to move on to updates from our Texas Center for the Advancement of Literacy and Learning, T-Call's research team. And then we will also look at new trainings, conferences, and statewide events that we just want to keep on your radar because, boy, we've got a lot coming up. And then we are going to learn about the exciting webinar series announcements and what's coming down the pike there. We're going to have testing updates from the testing team. We're going to have PD portal announcements, and we're going to have PD coordinator time. And before I leave the agenda, I just want to say that we've got several team members that are out. So several of us are jumping in for our team members. So you're going to hear different voices that you wouldn't necessarily usually hear for certain slides. All right, so right up, we have Ashley with the DEPDC Center updates. Ashley?
Okay, hello, welcome everybody. You can go to the next slide. We have coming up, Mastering the Modes, a guide to Texas AEL remote and distance learning modes webinar series. This will be in July and August. It is not yet on the PD portal, but it is coming. We are working on that as we speak. But we're going to start with an overview of all the distance education models in Texas AEL. We will then dig deeper into each individual one to help teachers and educators to understand the differences between them all and to identify and decide which ones work best for you. So we will get into remote teaching on July 17th. That is going to include best practices. Hybrid learning will be July 24th. And when we say hybrid, we're talking about when you have normal classes, but you give them the option of also doing distance learning curriculum. Blended learning requires them to use the curriculum and have in class. Flex learning, which is basically letting your students show up on Zoom or attend class. And then finally, how to pick the right model for your program. So we're excited for this little series coming up. Also, we wanted to let everybody know that now I'm sorry, my phone rang and it's a dog, sorry. All Texas educators are now welcome to attend our fun, exciting distance learning leads meetings. You just need to register on the PD portal. This will be on the first Tuesday of the month at 2:00 p.m. Our next meeting is actually going to be July 8th because the first Tuesday of the month falls right next to 4th of July, and most people won't be around.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I think you are on another slide here, so here we go.
Yes, and we've got our next Tech Intel is going to be part 2 of Desmos. If you didn't attend the first one, you can still attend this one. It was a super fun, super interactive hour and a half. This will give you an opportunity to get your hands dirty a little bit more with this tool. It's not just for math, and Kristen does a really amazing job. So join us at June 20th at 11:30.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful. All right. So next slide, Ashley.
Oh, that was funny. That other one had already happened, hadn't it? I'm sorry. The next one is, oh wait, no, it hasn't. Okay. I forgot we had 2 coming up. July 18th, we are also going to be doing a special session introducing us, the DEPDC, and sharing all the resources that we offer. So if you need tech supports tailored to your program, join this engaging session to discover how we can help you. So you will meet the team, explore our services, and learn how we customize support for educators and students. And we will have giveaways of some sort as well. That will be on July 18th.
All right. Thank you so much. And I think we have next up is Rena to give us some updates on the DEPDC.
No, I'll take care of it. We're in the same
okay.
office, so Rena.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
No, it's usually just one or the other of us. So no, it's still me. Sorry, we didn't update the slide. Our fault. Invite us to present on the Distance Education Call Center. So if you need help supporting your students and instructors' tech needs, the Distance Education Call Center offers free support during remote classes, self-study, or curriculum transitions. So if you invite us to present, we're willing to come virtually, in person. We can join you for a staff meeting, or we can do it as a PD session. It's up to you. Just reach out to your PD specialist, but we will share benefits, integration tips, and how to promote this valuable service to your team.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashley. And we are, I think, at a perfect stopping point. We're at our first question and answer slide. So I want to pause here. There was a lot of great information about what's coming up with the DEPDC, with the Tech Intel, and also the other webinars that are coming up. So let's just take a moment and see if anyone's got any questions in the chat pod. Don't you all wish that you could see people typing in Zoom so you would know? I always wish we had that. I wish they would do that so we could see.
I don't know, but I love Dr. Nicole Jimerson's emoji or her avatar.
Oh, so all right. So those of you, give me a thumbs up if we're okay to keep going. Just a few of you give me a thumbs up and let me know, and we will keep going. All right, and we can always double back to questions. All right, thank you so much, Ashley. All right, so we're going to keep going with Jessica Beatty, and she's going to give us some updates from the research and evaluation team. Jessica?
Everyone, you probably saw this slide with the if you were with us last month, but I wanted to share it again that we would love your input on the PD support services that you are receiving from us as a team. We will go ahead and drop that link in the chat, or you can use your phone and go ahead and fill it out via this QR code. Some of you have already filled that out, but we'd like to get some more responses. So if you can, please take some time and answer some of those questions for us. Thanks.
Thank you, Jessica. And I think we have another Q&A, but I think we can keep moving unless there's any questions about the evaluation survey. And we can actually go back to the QR code if anyone needs to see that again. There it is on the screen, and I can always go back to that if we need to. But we will keep moving because we have a lot of information today. And so next up, we are going to talk about new training conferences and statewide events. And actually, there's not so much new training this month that we want to talk about, but there are several conferences and statewide events. So first up, we are excited to provide a reminder about what's coming up in just 2 days. And that's the free Taley Virtual Seminar 2025. It's completely free and it's virtual, and it's Saturday, June 14th. So this Saturday. And I want to talk about how the sessions are going to work. So the sessions times are on the slide, but each session has 3 different options. So another way of saying that is that there's going to be 3 different concurrent sessions going on, so you can choose which one you want to go to. So at 9 o'clock, there's going to be 3 sessions. 10:35, there will be 3 different sessions, and then again at 1 o'clock. So you'll be able to decide. This is a great opportunity for team members at your local program who may still need professional development hours. So please, we hope that you take advantage of this PD event. And we do hope that you grab your lunch or your sandwich and join us for a lunchtime Taley Award ceremony that takes place from 12:10 to 1, and then we jump right back in to sessions at 1 o'clock. So how do you register for this event? We're going to drop that link in the chat pod for you, but you're going to go to a page and you're going to see all the different sessions, and each session has a registration link right there, and that's going to take you right to the PD portal to register. So I have to say this because I think this is so awesome. We hope the wisdom be with you. May the wisdom be with you, and we hope that we all see you on Saturday for this event. And next up, we're going to talk about, and I am filling in for Paula here, we just want to keep a couple Literacy Texas events on the radar for you. And I want to start on the right-hand side, and I want to go down, and I want to talk about what's coming up on June 20th on Friday. And this is the Gulf Coast Literacy Symposium, and it's going to be at Houston Community College Southeast Campus. So that's coming up on Friday. And Krista is going to drop the link to the Literacy Texas calendar in the chat pod for you so that you can see all of the events. And then just keeping this on your radar is August 4th, 5th, and 6th is the Literacy Texas Conference. The exhibitor hall preview is on Monday, followed by sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's going to be at the Embassy Suites and Conference Center in San Marcos. If you look on the conference page, you're going to see that the whole schedule is lined out, and you can see which of your colleagues are presenting and what the topics are. There's a lot of wonderful professional development going on at this conference. So we want to wanted to tell you about that. And then staying with Literacy Texas offers something called the Best of Texas series. And in June, on June 26th, on a Thursday, there's going to be literacy in corrections. So that's on Thursday from 10 to 11, and it's online. And again, you can go to that calendar link that Krista put in the chat pod. Thank you so much, Krista. And you can see how to register. And then in July, there's going to be the Civics and Citizenship, again, 10 to 11 online, and that's July 31st. So that's a preview of what's coming up there. And now I'm going to pass it over to Beth to give us some other updates.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Welcome, everyone. It's good to be together. Just again, save the date for the TWC AEL Fall Institute. Will be September 2nd through the 5th in Austin. We will be back at the DoubleTree. And just a note that September 2nd is the pre-conference day, and we're going to have an afternoon just for PD coordinators. So on the 2nd from 1 until 4, we will have a session just for you, and we will be streaming it. And then one of the other pre-conference sessions is going to be for distance learning leads and DL coordinators and navigators. So that one's going to be 2 half-day sessions. So just want to put those out there. We will be letting you know as soon as registration is up. We are working on that right now. Again, we'll be streaming all of those sessions. And if you want to go to the next slide.
Thank you, Beth. All right, here we go.
And then the third pre-conference session will be our first face-to-face for the next cohort of the Leadership Excellence Academy. So we are starting cohort 7, and nominations for participation in that open today. So if you follow the link there on the slide, we'll put that into the chat for you. You'll get more information about the cohort and what are the responsibilities for participation. This is a great opportunity to grow leadership in your program, both instructional leaders or administrators. And you have until July 18th to nominate someone. If you are a director, you can nominate yourself. There's both a nomination and a commitment form, and we're really looking forward to this next cohort. Just a note going into this program year, TCAL will be reimbursing travel expenses for participation in the Leadership Excellence Academy.
Wow.
So another little carrot to get you to perhaps have some participation.
That is a wonderful opportunity, Beth. And Krista already put the link to information about this cohort in the chat pod. So thank you so much, Beth. And Beth, we have another slide with another event coming up.
So just to have this marked on your calendars again, the 2026 COABE Conference, National Conference, will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, April 12th through the 15th, 2026. Can't believe we're putting 2026 on the board so early. But part of the reason we want to include this slide is there is a deadline for presentation proposals. It has been extended to July 31, but that is out and open right now. So if you want an opportunity to present at a national conference, this is a great way to do that. COABE has such rich, wonderful sessions and so many, and we hope to see some Texas proposals put in there. So thank you, Anne Marie.
Oh, thank you so much, Beth, so much. All right, so I think, yes, we are at a stopping point, and I think we all just have to, phew, that was a lot of great information. So again, I want to take a pause here to see if we need to go back and look at something, or any questions about the links that we put in the chat pod. So I just want to pause here for a minute and see if there's any questions or more information needed.
Hi, I have a question. This is PJ Lopez at Workforce
Hi,
Solutions
PJ.
Dallas. Hey, I wanted to ask about the Beth mentioned something about TCAL reimbursing LEA cohort, new cohort of members. Normally, we would reimburse at the local level from our professional development budget, but you're saying that TCAL is going to put some reimbursement funds towards that. Is that my understanding?
Yes, PJ, that's exactly right. With all of the funding kind of stuff up in the air, we want to get good participation. So we are going to help out the local programs by helping reimburse for those travel expenses.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Great question, PJ. Thank you for sharing that with us. And just, jump in here with your voice, y'all. If you have a question, please, as well as in the chat pod. I think it's good to hear everyone's voices. So I do not see any other questions. I'm scanning here and I don't see any. So we are going to move on and continue on. So now we're going to switch over to our monthly webinar series, and we're going to hear from Manager Monday, Teacher Tuesday, Workforce Wednesday, and we've heard from Tech and Tell, but we want to hear more. And so first up is Wendy to share information.
Hi, everyone.
So the next two Manager Mondays is gonna be a two-part series on leading change, since we are in the midst of I guess, uncertain time in adult education. Change is definitely probably going to hit you. So in June, on the 16th, which is this Monday coming up, the topic will be planning and leading change. And again, that is part one of a two-part series. Our presenter is Dr. Derek Cruz. He is a professor of management and human resources at Texas Women's University. And this part one session will be exploring proven models that support intentional and effective change initiatives while gaining a deeper understanding of the common stages of resistance and the perpetual barriers that hinder progress. So that is part one. You register in the PD portal, and we hope to see you there on Monday. Next slide. And then on July 14th is part two, that's implementing and communicating change. And in this second session, Dr. Cruz will explore 6 distinct change leadership styles, which will help participants understand when and how to apply each effectively. Participants will also learn how to develop a strong communication plan by selecting the right communication methods, crafting clear and compelling messages, and establishing a feedback and dialogue model that encourages engagement and trust. So make a plan to join us both Monday and then again on July 14th, and please share this information with any leaders in your organization. Next slide.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Wendy.
And then we just have the remaining dates that I'll put into the chat for Manager Monday. So those of you that are new and haven't done this yet, you can put it on your calendars.
Thank you. And Wendy, I'm sorry, Wendy.
Go ahead.
Quick question about these part one and part two. Would you suggest like a whole team going or just the managers? Because this sounds like it would be good for, several people to go
Well,
from programs.
yes, thank you for the question, Anne-Marie. As with any Manager Monday, I think that if it's something that is of interest to you, even though you are not currently in a leadership or supervisory position, I would definitely recommend attending, because you never know when you're going to maybe have the opportunity to lead or be in a supervisor position. And also it just may help you personally. So yes, I would recommend if you attend as a group, that would be a local decision, because there's some logistics involved for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Wendy. We appreciate it.
Sure.
And we will go on to now Teacher Tuesday with Krista.
Hi, everyone. So just an announcement that we are not going to have a Teacher Tuesday for July, and I am working on the next session for August 12th. So stay tuned next week for next month for what we're going to be having in August. So teachers can have a break in July. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista. And then we have another slide.
Yes, and these are the dates for our Teacher Tuesday for this upcoming program year.
All right. Thank you so much, Krista. And now we have Wayne to talk about Workforce Wednesday.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. So this month for Workforce Wednesday, we've invited Nancy Morano and Delia Watley to come and talk about some workplace stuff. They are doing great work up there in workplace, and they are both with the same grantee, but they run two different programs that are aimed at the same end goals. So come and listen to see what they have to say if you're interested in working through some workplace, especially for ESL. Next slide.
Thank you.
And here are the dates that we have laid out for Workforce Wednesday. I'm hoping to set dates for the rest of 2026 shortly. And I'm still working on solidifying what we're going to do for July. So watch the PD Monthly for announcements about that, or keep yourself in suspense until next month's PD coordinator meeting.
Thank you so much, Wayne. And I know Krista is dropping the dates into the chat pod for us. And we do have a question here. Let's go to the next slide. I see Heather, you have a question. I'm going to hold that for a minute. Oh, it was just a wonderful comment. Krista, do you want to read that, or I guess I can? That Heather.
Yeah, I'm reading it, and Heather, when we get into PD coordinator time, we are going to kind of talk about some of this stuff. So read the comment, but we're gonna address it. And I agree, it's a little bit sad, but we'll get through it. So hang on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Krista. And so just real quickly, we're gonna close out talking about the webinar series here with always a big thank you to all of you for the support and helping us. Reach out to the coordinators for these series. We're gonna drop the email addresses in the chat pod. We want to know what is important to you, and even if you would like to present. So we appreciate you all very much. Thank you. And we will go continue. So let's see. I know we're going to talk about Heather's question, but let's pause again. And are there any questions about the webinar series? All right. I do not see anything, but we'll keep a watch on the chat pod. All right, so now we're going to move into test announcements having to do with assessments and all the updates. And we have Wendy helping out with this section because Dr. Olga Escalmia is also attending a conference. So Wendy?
Okay, thank you. My dog is getting ready to bark. Hopefully they don't. So Dr. Olga just wanted to put some reminders out there that our TOTs, our training of trainer events, are held once in the fall and then again once in the spring. So when you are planning for this upcoming year on test trainings, just keep that in the back of your mind as to expect something in the fall and then in the spring. However, if we do not have at least five or more participants, or at least 5 participants, there is a chance that that TOT would not take place. So just make sure that if it is something that you think you would need to send people to training, make sure that you keep that in your mind. And if it's, I'm sorry, folks, I just have a delivery coming up. I'm really sorry. And just keep that in mind and make sure that you register when they are announced. Next slide.
Thanks. Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, and then also, just a reminder that there is a TWC approved test trainings chart or web page, and you can scan it here. And we also have a link if Krista can access that and put it into the chat. And just make sure that you are reviewing that chart because it tells you and lays out for each test instrument what kind of training you would need or your staff would need to have depending on their role.
Thank you, Wendy.
I think I have one more slide.
Yep, you
from Dr.
do.
Olga.
Yep. There you go.
Yes, and should you have any questions about TOT events for test training, go ahead and email Dr. Escamilla or Paula Bauer, and both of their emails are there. Thank you, Anne-Marie. And once again, I'm sorry for the barking, folks.
We barely heard anything.
Okay,
So
good.
barely, at least I did. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the Q&A section again. And let me see. I don't think we've had any other questions come in, but I want to pause again. And I actually, while we're waiting, let's just go back and show this QR code one more time and about this TWC approved test training webpage, because this is a great resource. And sometimes it takes a minute for the QR code to bring it up. So we'll just hold here for a minute. All right. Don't see anything, so we'll keep moving. And now we have PD portal announcements, and we're going to hear from Manikantha, or as we like to say, G. G.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Hello, everyone. This is Manikanta Ramakrishna Gautam Vempati, also known as G. I work as a LMS coordinator with TCall. Today, I have few interesting updates to share with you all. Starting with the first one, we have a new course now available on PD Portal, Workforce Wednesday, Working on Workforce Prep. This course is all about helping our students succeed in job market. It focuses on how we can build workforce preparation skills in our regular classroom instruction. It's an interactive session with practical strategies for blending academic and workforce skills together. Moving to the next slide. We have a friendly reminder. Do not forget to visit tcall.tamu.edu/pd-portal for how-to videos and step-by-step instructions. This is a great resource for all the new users and anyone who need a quick refresher. If you still have any questions, you can always reach out to us on pdportal@tamu.edu. I have put the link as well as the email in the chat.
Thank you, G. And then we have another slide.
And TCall will be closed on Thursday, June 19, 2025. Will reopen on Friday, June 20 at 8 a.m. During this time, PD Portal email and help desk phone will not be monitored. Moving to the next slide. After hour help. If you need help outside of the regular hours, the distance education call center is available to assist.
Thank you so much, G. We appreciate the updates and letting us know what's going on with the PD portal. So I do want to stop because I do see that there is a question, Krista, in the chat pod from Jared about do proctors need to be retrained in order to proctor reading goals 2, or does the current proctor certification carry over for the new assessment? So I'm not sure if Wendy, you can answer that, or do we want to suggest emailing Dr. Olga?
Jared, I've got the question in a Teams message to them. They're all at the CASAS conference right now. It looks like somebody's responding, so I'll get you an answer and get it back out to you.
Awesome, Beth. Thank you so much for that. That was teamwork. Thank you. And all right, let's see. Did I miss any questions, Krista? I don't think so. Is that the only one?
Good.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep moving on. And I love this. I love this animation here. So Christo, it's time for PD coordinator time. And I'll move to the next slide. And here you go.
All right. So we've got a few slides here in PD coordinator time. And the first one is that reminder that June 30th is coming up. So there's only a couple of weeks left to complete required PD hours. If you need some help and assistance with getting your staff over that finish line, please contact your PD specialist. And then along those same lines, go ahead. Remember that Teams entry is open until July 15th. So June 30th, you have to have your PD done, but then you have until July 15th to get everything entered into Teams. Remember that the PD portal and Teams do not talk to each other. And so anything that is in the PD portal needs to be entered into Teams, and then you can use that PD portal transcript report. And I'm just going to pause for a minute. Is there anybody online that does not know about the PD portal transcript report? Okay. Ms. Livers does not. Okay. And you are with Collin College, correct? Okay. So your PD specialist, yes. Your PD specialist is Megan, and
Oh, that's me.
Wendy.
Wendy.
I am so sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, gosh. Yes, and so I will have Wendy reach out to you and the college team to make sure you know how to open those transcripts and get that transcript report because it's important, or it's a useful tool. Let me put it that way. All right. Awesome. So again, talk to your PD specialist if you need assistance. All right. Next slide. I mentioned this last month about the PD recommendations. Your PD specialists are reviewing data and talking to PD coordinators. And our PD recommendations will be to you no later than July 15th. And then the PD plan is due August 15th to TWC. And there was an email probably a week or 2 weeks ago that the PD plan template is already uploaded into the TWC AEL Core Grant SharePoint. And I went ahead and put that path in there because it's kind of buried. I went looking for it and it is kind of buried. And so you go into the document library, resources, templates, and then you'll see the PD plan template for 2025. Don't use 2024's. Both the templates are in there. And I put a link in the chat, but if you don't have access to the SharePoint, you probably won't be able to get into that. But hopefully you as PD coordinators and possible directors and such can get that for you. All right. Any questions about the end of the year Teams entry PD recommendations? And we've got Beth answered that question from Dr. Olga. Reading goals 2, no new training is needed. So thank you, Beth, for the teams, and Dr. Olga from California answering her team's message. All right, let's press on. Okay, so speaking of plans, we're kind of looking forward to the new program year. And just a couple of things to keep in mind, that if you're planning a multi-session training or really any training request in the fall, please let us know as soon as possible. The more heads up we have, the better off we are to get you the trainers that you would like to have. So please let your PD specialist know what some of those plans are. And then TCAL, including the DEPDC sponsored trainers, are paid for by TCAL. We contract with the trainers and you supply the participants. So again, looking at the funding, but sometimes PD coordinators forget that we pay for the trainers to come to you, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. So just as that reminder. And then third bullet here is that we are working to help programs build local training capacity without impacting your limited budgets. And so stay tuned for how we'll be able to help with TOTs. Kind of like how Beth was talking about help the travel expenses for LEA, will probably be helping with some of the TOT funding as well. So we will have more information as that comes forward in the next program year.
Right. And I don't see any other questions coming in, Krista. I'm looking in the chat pod too. So should we go to the next slide, do you think?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay. So this is kind of where we're going, and we're going back up to Heather's comment about, mapping out the annual in-service as well as PD plans. And you are exactly right. There's going to be a definite shift towards career pathways and dual purpose classes with that GED, IET. And we are definitely working on making sure we have those trainings. And so Heather actually emailed me with a very important question and wanted to make sure that we got it online and got it into this PD coordinator webinar. So the leading question is, if funding changes, how does your PD plan change? And I'm going to let Wayne Crandall take it and help lead this discussion. If you have something to say, please unmute, or you can put it in the chat pod if you have questions. Again, we can't answer a lot of questions as far as policy and or anything like that, but this is looking at our PD stuff. So Wayne, I'm letting you have it.
Thank you, Krista. So when we think about this question, a lot of us know we don't know any more than you do about what's happening with the funding or any of the various other little things that may affect the impact of what we do every day. But when we think about the larger picture of that, how does it really, if the funding changes, how does it affect the PD? I mean, what kind of changes have to be made in order to facilitate the changes that are going to come up? Now, of course, we don't know what it is. We don't know how it works. But we can, I think, ask ourselves some questions. And that's what I kind of wanted to do, is to just kind of throw some questions out there. I don't necessarily have answers. I don't think probably anybody really have answers, but we do have to move forward planning, not knowing if something is going to do what something's going to be like. So you might have to have a conditional contingency in your PD plan, and that's okay because we want it to be a living document. But one of the first questions I really wanted to throw out there is, if changes need to be made, how can PD facilitate those changes? And kind of related to that, will it mostly be operational changes and you're going to change the way you do things? And you just have to figure out how to get the message out and retrain your folks? Or are there going to be larger issues that maybe we can orchestrate and help with here at TCall? And what do those things look like? So I'm going to pause there and see if anybody has anything they want to chime in with. And you can either unmute yourself or raise your hand and ask and wait, or you can throw something into the chat. I'm trying to scan through the chat and see whether there's anything there yet or not.
Right, so Heather's got in the chat. So if we have our plans mapped out with our current knowledge, and then there are changes, can we work together to make changes?
Now, from my perspective, and I'm believing everybody on my team will say the same thing, is absolutely. If you find for whatever reason that you'll have to pivot and adapt and adjust from your plan, all you have to do is let us know that you're changing your plan, and we'll try to help you pivot, change, adapt however we can. That's why we're here. We don't expect it to be a sit and forget. We're here for you, even if you just need a little reassurance. I thought this is the way we're doing things. Is this it? You just give us a call and we'll chat and we'll figure out our way through. Like we keep on saying over and over again, the PD plan is a living document. That means you don't just set it and forget it. We want to continue to make sure that the PD plan is helping us get from point A to point B. And if we're still not going to the same point B, then our plan isn't really going to get us there. And that's why we go through the effort that we do to talk to you before we make our recommendations, look at the data, and see what things are there, and then are available to help you with the plan. And if you need to come back every quarter and readdress the plan to make sure that it's in place and working, then that's what we can do. That's what we honestly, that's what our job is supposed to be. So reach out and ask us some questions. So, did we have anything else?
Not yet. Hopefully people are thinking and working through what were your questions.
When Heather first talked to me, I was doing a virtual site visit with her. We were talking about recommendations and where community action was going. And that's when this initially came up. And then she followed up with an email with Krista. The whole idea was that we don't know what's going to happen, and we're going to have to make some contingency plans. And one of the things that I told Heather when we were talking is, bottom line, regardless of how it's being paid for, the things that we're going to do for PD, the things that we need to do to make sure that our staff is trained and willing and able to do what they're going to do, isn't really going to change that much. So you just have to kind of go through there and look and see, well, how does whatever change in funding or whatever change in whatever else, how does that change what we need to do and how we need to do it? And you're not by yourself. You can always reach out and have a conversation with us. We more than likely, if it comes to policy and procedures and that stuff, we're going to point you right back at TWC. And I know that they're always open to talk to me about an understanding of other things. And I believe that they're pretty open with talking to the program. So we can definitely work our way through. But first, you got to tell us what you're seeing, how you're feeling, and what you want to accomplish. And then we can help you. Okay, well, it doesn't look like anybody's got a whole lot more to say about it. If you are a slow burner and you need time to process and chew on things before you start coming up with questions, feel free to send your thoughts and ideas to your PD specialist. And we can have a conversation about them. And if something comes up, we may be able to incorporate it into the next PD coordinator meeting, or it may be something that gets taken to a higher level and we figure out, well, is this something that TCAL can help with? Okay, well, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Krista, and thanks for letting me take a minute to talk.
You bet. Thank you, Wayne. And again, just like you said, let us know how we can help you if you want to talk to your PD specialist, if you want to email me. This is part of what this PD coordinator time is for, especially as things kind of change. So just let us know what we can do to help you as your PD specialist and PD team. All right. So I think we can press on, Anne-Marie.
Yep, Krista, before we leave the slide, I wanted to just, before we wrap this up, I wanted to share something. This question was very timely, Heather, too, because I was just speaking with one of my programs in my role as a professional development specialist. And I think this is something also to think about, is when there's other changes, think about, your colleagues from other programs that you can lean into that may be also challenged with the same, having to think about the same changes or potential changes. So remember, if you've got questions, utilize the community of practice in the PD portal. If you think it's something that you may need help with. It's a great place to post questions, and colleagues are always eager to share. So don't forget that that is a strategy and an option and a channel for communication that we also encourage you to use. So lean into your fellow colleagues as too, because we have a lot of veterans across the state too that may have wisdom. So I just wanted to share that, Krista.
Yes, thank you very, very much. That's a very excellent point.
Thank you so much. All right, so here we go. I think, Krista, it's you. You're up again here.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes I just never am quiet. So Beth just put in there about the Manager Monday session on change management. I think those are going to be excellent webinars, and so please register and attend those. All right, our next PD coordinator webinar will be July 10th. And I just lost my screen. There we go. July 10th, and then here's the next through December 11th. So thank you very much, Emery. I will be quiet now.
All right. Well, no, we all want to jump in, and again, just post your questions if you think of something, even as we roll, as we come to the end here. So, speaking of incredible resources, we always want to remind you about the distance education call center. And Ashley, jump in, or I just realized you may want to talk about this, so let me know. I just kind of jumped in here. Do you want me to take this, or do you want to talk about this?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you, because I think this is such a valuable resource. So remember that this is for free tech support in all areas. So if students are struggling with the technical aspects of the distance education, approved curriculum, they can call. But also don't forget about, virtual class assistance. If you've got this amazing class you're trying to get going, but your students are having trouble with technical issues, that's when you can refer them to the DEPDC call center, when that's what the call centers are there for. And remember too, the free training sessions that are available, the roadshow, I think is still an option, right, Ashley? As far as 3-hour workshops, staff meetings, 1.5-hour presentations. So
Yes.
reach out to your PD specialist, and then we can get a referral started to the DEPDC. Did I miss anything, Ashley? Let me know. Okay. I think so. I mean, I think we did okay. And she put the website and the phone number in the chat pod. So I want to go ahead and we want to pause here for last minute questions, thinking about the PD portal time that we just had. The assessments, we brought up some important assessment resources, the webinars that are coming up, Manager Monday, Workforce Wednesday, Teacher Tuesday, and Tech and Tell. And then, all of the conferences. So let's just take a minute here. Kurt has a question. Perfect timing. Go ahead, Kurt. Do you want to unmute and share?
Okay. After I've ran my transcript, what do we do with those? Do we post those, or how do we archive those? What do we do with them once we have them?
Okay, are you talking about the transcript report?
Yes, the transcript report -AEL grantee.
Okay, so yeah, once you've run the report, then that's what you're going to use to make sure that all of the staff have the documented PD that is on that transcript report. And then I would just have it saved in a folder. I don't know, do the other PD coordinators, what do you do with your transcripts once you've run them? Does anybody have?
Yes, this is Jan Bartlett at Region 17 in Lubbock. I have a folder for each one of my staff members, and when they've completed, or as we go through the year, I print out those reports and give them to them, let them check them and make sure that we match. When they've all completed, I print a report, individual report for each one. I put it in their folder, and then it's all put in a box for the next, and then I start all over each year.
Okay, and do we then what do we use the report that we run from Teams? Basically the
Yeah,
transcript of
that
everybody, their hours report.
yeah, that's just for information for you, Kurt, so that you can make sure that everybody has what they need.
Oh, I
That
see.
doesn't need to be posted or anything because it's already in Teams. So yeah,
Okay,
that's just for you to have.
okay. But and the same way, so really that's the same way with this transcript report too, that's essentially for our use.
Correct.
Okay, so when we want to see how we have done with that, then we produce what? Probably the Teams report.
Are you asking how TWC knows that you've got your PD done?
Right.
Okay.
I guess.
They run their reports with the, and I'm actually, this is actually a really good question, Kurt, because I haven't really thought about how they do that on the TWC side. And so, and I don't know that we have any TWC people on. That is a really interesting
Okay.
question, Kurt. The main thing is make sure that it is in Teams and that everything is saved and updated,
Okay.
and then they're the ones that get into that to check
Okay.
those things.
Okay.
And then so there's a few things that other people put in here. Heather says she files them electronically. I normally run a report every month.
Oh,
That way
okay.
she can get away from printing things, and then you can also save the Teams report electronically. And Yoli put in the link to running the transcript report, the directions.
Mm-hmm.
And also the transcript report can be used as for monitoring purposes, showing that, if they ask, well, where's the proof that this staff member did this training, you can use that transcript report as well.
Okay. So then I would never have a reason then to go into their individual transcripts and look anymore because this report basically tells me that too.
Correct.
So, okay. This is just a little bit more convenient. But I like to see what they're seeing too. This is kind of helpful for me as well when I'm communicating with them, what they have, what they don't, and what they think they have. Or what they think they've completed, but they've not completed, but signed up for.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
for the question, Kurt.
Right,
That was
yeah, thank you.
perfect. Thank you.
Great,
And
great.
thank you, Heather and others for putting in what you do, and Jan for explaining your process. That's how we all learn.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you so much, Krista. So we're gonna just go ahead, and if there are other questions, as we roll out and we say goodbye right now, please go ahead and if there are last minute questions, but we do want to thank you so much. I feel like I want to turn my video camera on and make a big heart with my hands, right? We want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I want to thank the T-Call team for being all together. And this is a reminder, we shared the calendar before, but this is a reminder that our next PD coordinator webinar is on July 10th, and we hope to see you all there. And let me see if there's any other questions, but yes, I see in the chat pod, Beth said, again, thank you for joining us today. And I hope we all hope that you have a great rest of the week, and the weather behaves where you are. And oh, Robert, we hope so too. Robert just said hopefully we'll be back next week. And keep doing the amazing things that you are doing, right? We are all trying to serve our adult learners, and we you all are doing a great job. So on behalf of the Train PD team, we want to say thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And I'm going to stop sharing and see if there's any questions, but then we'll roll on out of here. So thank you again, everybody. Oh, I like Dr. Nicole's picture there. That's great. I got to see that. I didn't get to see that. Thanks again, everybody. And again, bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and Krista, close the room, you think, or?
Yep, I will close it up. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.